Cold Dog with a super chat. Do you think a legal case can be made against Chaya Raichek, aka Libs of TikTok? I'm worried about how close she is to Trump. Also, much love, y'all. I don't think so. Honestly,
I would say, depending on who you are and where you are, if you are a public figure who lives in Canada, we recently passed legislation that you can actually sue someone for forms of hate speech. So that might be something to pursue or look into.
I mean,
but I can't believe at this
for
point.
anything.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
question is, do you have a case?
Defamation or libel or slander, that kind of stuff, right? In the case of Chaya, there's got to be a lot of people where she has intentionally and maliciously lied that they are pedophiles or groomers, and that's affected their own workplace or their own standard of living or their quality of life. You might have a case there. I'm not a lawyer. Consult a lawyer. Nothing I say is legal advice, but I'm just saying I think there has been enough people that she's directly tried to imply that they're a pedophile. That can be life ruining. Like that can your the future employers might find your name when you Google you, and a Libs of TikTok archived tweet is still up there, even if she deletes it, like she does to a lot of the people she accuses.
And I will say that probably you would have, if there is a legal chance anywhere, that is probably more likely than what I think most people think of when they think of legal action against her. And that is like for the bomb threats and things like that directed at schools.
Oh, right.
She's got too much plausible deniability.
Yes,
right.
She has too many layers or degrees removed from what we know. Like if it comes out that she is much more active,
she's been in mass shooter manifestos. That's
yeah, but you can't.
But
you
I know
you can't. Yeah, it's not. That's not the same thing. I mean,
was it Chaya Raichek or was it fucking Andy No? Was it Andy No or was it Matt Walsh? Was it Matt Walsh? Was it Christopher Rufo? Was it Christopher Rufo? Like any one of their fans could have been the person who's like, I'm taking guns to the drag show.
It's not even that. You like unless she or any of these guys specifically directed them to do something. Just talking about a topic that,
But are you not inciting violence if you say this place is filled with pedophiles and they are molesting or mutilating kids, and then people take up arms as a result of you saying that? That lie, by the way, because that's what is leading to the children's hospitals getting the calls,
I think it depends whether she implies that something needs to be done about it.
She says they're coming for your kids in some of the posts.
I think. Listen, I'm not defending her. I'm just talking about.
No, I know. We're just talking about the legal.
There's especially in the U.S. and trust me, it's much safer to be here than in the U.K. You can fucking get sued for anything. You see all these people apologizing to J.K. Rowling. In the UK, when
I saw that.
It's like ridiculous. Trust me.
Sorry, mother.
The one
You're
good
right
thing,
to deny the Holocaust.
Right. The one good thing one of the things you could be proud to be actually be proud to be American about is that our laws protecting speech are really good, and they do work in our favor 99% of the time. So
I will say this though, like even though defamation is very, very difficult to prove, as Lance was kind of alluding to, there are some instances that I think that person has a good case. For example, Next Benedict's teacher. So Chaya Raichek shared a TikTok of him where he's saying, if your parents don't accept you, fuck them, I'm your parent now. And she called him a groomer. And then that led to so much harassment. He also said he was
fired for grooming. Like that means he was fired for having or trying to coerce a kid into a sexual relationship.
Now that could if that could be a case because she's the one who started that malicious libel, and
his life was ruined. Like he lost his job,
and it actually did affect him. He or she might have a case. Any sort of implication though that she could be legally held responsible for the death of that student though is, I think,
I don't think she can be legally held responsible for that.
Right.
You would certainly sick. Did you see her doing a victory lap over the fact that she's like, people owe me an apology? And I was like, an apology? Is this somehow better in your eyes that someone committed suicide as opposed to they were literally beaten to death?
I don't get the spiking the football over this. This is the same, literally the same thing.
Honestly,
the original thing was that what's the student's Next, right?
Next Benedict. Yeah.
Next Benedict. The original claim was Next Benedict was attacked and later passed away based on the assault from other students. But now it comes out that no, the Next Benedict just committed suicide the next day. I mean, it's just as bad. I'm sorry. It's just as bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's disturbing to try and flip this as a win in some way, or that you're owed an apology. It's like all the same things remain. Like there was an incredible toxic culture of bullying trans people. You specifically target a student that Next was fond of, by the way. Like there's a lot of the contributing factors to this. It's not that you literally told someone you should probably go and like attack the specific person, right? Where that's actionable, sure. But in this case, like, why in the fuck is she part of, like, what is it, the school board trustees?
Like the media advisory council for the library or some shit.
The fuck? Yeah,
it's so unhinged. And there's also that report from the Washington Post that said that states that enact these anti-LGBTQ plus laws, they see more than quadruple in bullying. And so, like, in that state of Oklahoma, the governor had signed a law forcing trans students to use the bathroom of the sex that's listed on their birth certificate. And come to find out, Next Benedict was actually a trans male. He used he, they pronouns. And so he got into this confrontation in the girls' room with people that were bullying. So we don't have all the details, but maybe it's the case that, like, him going into being forced to use the bathroom that he didn't identify with led to the bullying. I mean, this is a situation that could have completely been avoided. But the fact that he committed suicide doesn't necessarily change that climate that was cultivated by the adults, you know? So it's just, it's so sad. And the fact that she did that victory lap.
Disgusting.
I mean, I just want to, I see people saying that, you know, Chaya Right is responsible. Listen, I think she played a role in everything that went on in there as well. Clearly, she played some sort of role based on the harassment of the teacher that apparently was a major, pillar of support for Next Benedict. And then that teacher left, and, Next Benedict didn't have that anymore. Certainly there is a role played. We are discussing legal liability, and I think it's pretty clear based on, at least what we're not lawyers, but based on what
right.
I've read on and understand. I don't see a legal case to be made. Maybe there's a lawyer that knows the law way more, obviously intricately than I, and they do see a legal avenue there. But I don't see an obvious legal case here against Chaya for this specific thing. I'm not saying that because I'm happy about it. It just is what it is. It's the truth.
But yeah, there's gonna come a time where she's gonna get caught like with a lesbian or something. Like I feel like the universe is gonna pay it back. Maybe that's cope, but I feel like it's already starting. Like she got into a huge spat with Ron DeSantis, who called her a grifter and a liar. I have a video. That was
a good let them fight. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
she is very clearly losing a lot of people. Like it's like she lost her backing from the Babylon Bee, which there seems like there was drama surrounding that too. Like they were not happy with what they were getting decision out of the money they gave her. You know what I mean? Like they were paying her, from what I understand, there was some good arrangement in her favor, and they would publicly, like the Babylon Bee guys would publicly call her out on Twitter for not creating enough content or something. And it was like clearly not a positive relationship between the two. I mean, listen, I thought it was great. I mean, you get what you deserve paying this woman to create this anti-trans content. I mean, but I'm just pointing out that she's burning bridges wherever she goes.
If you didn't know and didn't see it in the Taylor Lorenz interview, she doesn't spend a lot of time doing research or work. She doesn't know at all what the fuck she's talking about.
She's not smart. Like, listen, each of these conservative grifters, these right-wing influencers, they all do have a talent that has enabled them to do this very specific thing. Like, we can talk about the Ben Shapiros and the Tim Pools all we want, but they do know how to do what they do very well. That's why they've been able to it's a very specific talent that's basically only in this one very specific lane, online personality media and stuff, online talking heads for the conservative.
Hey, Tim Pool's a rock star. Come on. He's got a successful music career on the side.
But, it's
and Ben is a rap star,
right?
I mean, Alex Jones is a great example. The dude is a very talented broadcaster. There's no doubt about it. He's a very talented,
I hate that he makes me laugh. I hate
He's
it.
a very talented.
He's
I
one of
feel
the worst
guilty.
humans. I'm just like, oh, I'm ashamed of myself.
She doesn't have any of that. She's
Oh, yeah.
not.
Oh,
she's
no.
not.
One of the
she's
least
not quick.
charismatic humans I've ever heard. Yeah.
She's not quick.
Painful to
She
listen
doesn't
to.
have
Yeah.
charisma.
Yeah.
She doesn't have speaking ability.
No.
She's not witty. She's not
She's like
good at
ambient
research or able to dig in, or she doesn't have like connections, sources to do scoops. She's got nothing. She's got nothing. She's someone who fell into what she fell into what she's doing. And she has done nothing to actually live up to the expectations that her own audience sets for her. Like, she's just like, all of her stuff is just people sending her stuff. She's done no original work herself. It used to be
easy though when it was just like chaos, right? She could just be like, this is a groomer, this is a pedophile, this is a groomer. And eventually people are like, yeah, you can't do that. Like, these are not literal child molesters. This is just like a teacher saying they're gay. That's the whole video,
Right.
Yeah.
Someone said, what were they expecting? They were expecting a conservative influencer, the likes of, Charlie Kirk, or what's his face, the former Project Veritas guy.
James O'Keefe.
That's what that's definitely what
they expected. James O'Keefe, and they got cat turd.
they thought they were gonna get the one of those types that owned the anti-trans lane for the online right, and instead they got this absolutely boring, talentless loser, honestly, who can't even speak to what she supposedly believes in.
Yeah,
which is amazing. Yeah, you love that that's your opponent. They're very stupid, haven't thought about their own worldview, can't articulate specifically why they think that trans people shouldn't exist. It's honestly like a gift to us. And last week, just seeing the damage control from Shia Raichik and the Moms for Liberty after their disastrous interviews, like they cannot defend their positions, let alone can they even like articulate what the fuck their position is. So that is like one thing working on our side. Or really not on our side, just on the side of like humanity, right?
Yeah. Same thing with Aiden Ross accidentally snitching on the tapes and walked away in Romania. That's just like the worst people in the world are sometimes just so silly that you're like, oh, okay, now I believe in karma a bit. There seems to be some cosmic alliance happening here.
Right. Sometimes they checkmate themselves, and you love to see it. We got a lot of that this week.